What's going on, people? It's your favorite water thought, Green Screen CC, busting out the green screen for the first time on the channel. Today I wanted to go over my 2020 artist roster. As many of you know, I love underrated underground artists, but I didn't really want to make a video and say that all of these artists are gonna blow up because that's not really that realistic. So I decided to come up with a little chart or tier list or graph or whatever you want to say and categorize each artist in a different way. So I basically have three categories. The first one is artists that I believe have a very high probability of blowing up, even though blowing up isn't really defined all that easily. Not only does an artist have to put out really good music in order to blow up, but it's hard for other people to predict artists that are gonna blow up when they don't know anything about them personally. Like, you really have to be a hard worker, you have to be a grinder, you have to be releasing music consistently. You can't just have a good sound. I know a lot of artists that are good and have the potential to grow, but they don't have great work ethic. The second and the biggest category is people that I think are gonna have pretty big growth this year. So no matter what size they are, I don't think that they're exactly gonna explode into the mainstream or get mainstream attention, but they're gonna get a significant amount of attention, or they're gonna have a significant growth compared to last year, 2019's growth. And the third category I have is the solid year category. Basically, rappers that I think are gonna have some growth. They're not gonna blow up, they're not gonna get mainstream attention, I don't think. They're just gonna have a really solid year, put out some good music, and hopefully gain a lot of new fans. Before I dive into it, I just wanna say that any of these rappers could fit in any of these categories, really. I mean, there's no guarantees. I don't want anybody to be like offended or take it the wrong way if you're in a specific category. I really just did it this way because I'm so sick of everybody saying like, oh, they're gonna blow up, or oh, they're up next, and then it's just like another year goes by and like they did well, but they just they didn't blow up. So hopefully this will be a fair 2020 prediction. Let's do it. Drink water. Basically, I handpicked a bunch of artists I pay attention to and some of my favorites, so you may not be familiar with all of them, but I'm kind of expecting that. First up, we got tyfontaine. If you don't know, tyfontaine, working heavily with internet money right now. He definitely deserves the blow up category. Now that he's working with internet money, he's making amazing music, and honestly, the sky's the limit. I feel like he could have a Billboard charting song this year. Von Sheena is a smaller artist. Probably a lot of you aren't familiar with him unless you pay attention to my page heavily. He just put out a pretty good project. I think he's gonna have a solid year. Yeroc, again, discovered him actually in my Guess the Rapper series. He's an artist that not a lot of people know of. He still has a lot of work to do on his sound, but I think he's gonna have a really solid year. Surf, as much as I wanna say that he's gonna blow up, I think it's just not that practical to say that he could blow up this year. I think he is gonna have significant growth. I think he's gonna put out really good music. I mean, in 2018 though, he didn't put out that much music, and in 2019, only towards the end did he start really releasing, so you gotta put out stuff if you wanna grow. Next we have 30 Deep Grimy. Most definitely could fit in the blow up category. 30 Deep Grimy is a street rap artist from St. Louis. He's making some pretty cool stuff. I think a lot of you have noticed I don't really talk too much about street rap because I don't feel all that qualified to talk about it for obvious reasons. But I do listen to a lot of it. I just don't speak about it too much on camera because I'm just staying in my lane. But I do recognize when artists are really good, and I do think that 30 Deep Grimy has the ability to be very big. 909 Memphis. I see a lot of things that I really like about 909 Memphis. I love his music. I've been a fan for a while. I think there's still a lot of crafting that he needs to do. Don't think he's quite ready to blow up this year, but again, I see big growth in his future. Baby Keem, probably gonna blow up. Orange Soda was a huge song, and he just strikes me as a hit maker. He could probably just keep writing bangers. Bigbabygucci, gonna have a really big year. Still working on the sound, but if you're not familiar with him, you really need to tap in because he is very good. Convolk, of course, we've all been waiting, and I really do think 2020 is going to be a big year for Convolk. I don't think that I've ever felt as strongly as I do for 2020 for Convolk as I have in previous years. I know everybody's always been like, Convolk up next and blah blah blah. I really do think 2020 could be the year. Dad Body, small artist that came from my street. stream, makes really fun music. You should for sure check him out. Duhon, another small artist that I haven't talked about too much, and he really only has one song that I do like, but that one song was enough for me to justify that he will be interesting to pay attention to this year. Guardin, my man Hardin. Contrary to what a lot of you might think, I don't think Guardin is ever really gonna blow up. I don't think he really has a mainstream appeal. However, he has like one of the strongest fan bases. He makes such good music, and I think he's gonna make a great career for himself, and I think he'll actually have a longer career than most artists, but I don't think he's ever gonna blow up. I just feel like he is super original. He crafts his own sound. He doesn't really fit into a mold too much. He's a very, very solid, strong artist. Kenny Mason, for sure gonna have big growth. I think he could blow up this year. Kenny Mason is getting looks on his music from a lot of people, and he's very, very creative. He just needs to release more. Obviously, a lot of things have to fall in place, but I think Kenny Mason could blow up. Lil Darkie, I don't know if y'all really know too much about Lil Darkie. He's kind of big on SoundCloud, and I hate to call people SoundCloud rappers, but his biggest platform is on SoundCloud, and I think that's pretty much it. I don't know how many music videos he has out really, but Lil Darkie is fire, and he's very original, very creative, and I could see him having a big TikTok song. I see very big growth for him. Malik, an artist that I found in my stream, and we dropped a song by him on Joda that's performing better than most songs that we release on there. He's very talented, he has a great voice, but he's super small and just still needs to do that grinding. Osibih, still don't know if I'm saying that name right. For sure gonna have some really big growth this year. Rob Olu, my man. I would say Rob is sadly still one of the smaller artists, and I say sadly because he's probably been making music longer than most of these people. Rob is a good friend of mine. He's very talented. We met because I was a fan of his music. I just strongly believe in him. Still has a lot of follower gaining and marketing to do, but he's got the talent, and it's just gonna be a matter of people finding him and discovering him. Savage Gasp. Gasp had a big growth year this year. I don't think he had a blow up because he's not like famous really, but I see Gasp having a very similar year as he did this year, but next year. Sounds like it would be a bad thing, but not, because Gasp literally went from like a nobody to a somebody this year, and I think that he's gonna have some huge growth. Hopefully, probably will have another TikTok song that blows up, but excited for the album. Sheff G, a lot of people talking about Pop Smoke, even though he kind of already blew up, but Sheff G I think could blow up. If Pop Smoke really makes a giant wave, I see Sheff G and a lot of other New York drill artists getting put onto the map, and a lot of people are gonna start really fucking with what they got going in the New York drill scene, and Sheff G is like right there. Too Rare, discovered him in my Guess the Rapper series video. I think that Too Rare is one of those artists that could be one that really skips the underground. He goes from a nobody, I hate saying that, but like somebody who's really small to like boom, really big. Like out of nowhere. I see Too Rare being in that position. Not that he's not like grinding or whatever, but he doesn't have that much music, but I feel like he has crazy mainstream appeal, and he could be very big if he gets the resources in front of him. 99 Neighbors gonna have a very big growth year. If you like neo, folky, sort of poppy type rap, they're a really good group, and they make very interesting music. Aries, come on, Aries has gotta blow up. I feel like he's one song away from being on Billboard, but I mean really what he has to do is release more music. I think he dropped one single in 2019, as well as his project that were basically all songs that people have heard before. Still great music, but yo, Aries needs to release music. Like that's for sure what he needs to do, but I see him getting on Billboard this year. Beam. Now you guys all know that I am a huge Beam fan, and I talk about him a lot. If I'm gonna be honest with myself, I think a lot of people are gonna sleep on him for a while, and I think they're gonna sleep on him in 2020. Although he is really good, I don't see him blowing up this year. I hope that he does. Truthfully, any of these people do have the potential to, because you never know, but I think that people are gonna continuously sleep on Beam. Regardless, he will have a big growth year, but don't know if it's gonna really blow up the way I wish it would. Capri, small artist, actually discovered him by him paying me to promote a song in Song of the Day, and then became a fan. He's making really solid music, and I definitely have my eye on him. Corey Elite, my man, been promoting him heavy, but still very small, needs to work on really marketing his stuff better, and I mean he's not even on Spotify yet, so that's probably why a lot of you don't know him. 2 of his videos combined on Joda have like 30,000 views, so people are liking it. Dom Sarfo, again, Again, another really small artist discovered through email spam. Actually just kind of spammed me a link in my email. I happened to click on it. I was pleasantly surprised. Again, still very small, but so fire. So good. I don't know. He deserves to be in big growth, but I kind of left this solid year column for artists that are like still really small. I'm expecting most of you to not know like these people. That's where Dom Sarfo sits, but trust me, he is really good and the quality is there. Yeroc reprid, a little bit bigger, still kind of small though, but I think he's gonna have a really big growth here. He's so talented. My boy, Jelani. Due to reviews and just getting feedback from my community, I know Jelani's gonna have a big growth year. I made a whole video about him that got a decent amount of views, but I still feel like people are going to sleep on Jelani. I think he's a career artist. I think he's super talented. I think that continuously people will sleep on him for a while. I want to put him in the blow up category, but I just really don't think it's going to happen this year. Koi. My man Koi, for sure, going to have a big growth year. Sort of like developing SoundCloud legend status. Anyone who is of his size or smaller knows who Koi is on SoundCloud. He's very talented. He's got some things to work on, but I don't even think Koi knows, or that a lot of you know, that he was one of my like most listened to artists of the entire year last year. I don't really talk about him that much or promote him, and I kind of feel bad because I'm such a huge fan, but just has such good music to listen to. Like, it is so good. Loser is a pretty small artist still to this day. Believe Sam Aarons is the one who put me on, so shout out to you. I've been working with him a little bit, been kind of chatting back and forth. Him and I actually wrote a little hook together, believe it or not. Patrick CC wrote something. He is very talented, but again, really small. Needs a lot of work with branding and just all that boring stuff. N7 and pwap, for sure on the blow up category this year. They have been on my radar for a few months now, probably like 6. They're really good. I believe they just signed a deal recently. They are very talented at rapping. The music is great to listen to. Rioo Cheeney, that should be 2 O's by the way, but that's probably my fault, so I'm sorry, Rioo. Rioo Cheeney, osibih. And I mean, this dude's numbers on YouTube are so good. Just give it a little time. Lil Rosie, I'm sure my really close-knit community knows who Rosie is. I think he's finally starting to make some very unique and original music, and I think that if he continues to release, keeps that branding up, he's already building a nice little following for himself. I think he's gonna have a really solid year, and I could see his numbers going up a lot this year. Scorey, my man Scorey. Don't remember where or how I discovered Scorey. I think it was just like looking on YouTube, just trying to find music. I don't think he could reach mainstream this year. All of these people too, by the way, you know, if something big didn't happen for them in 2020 or doesn't happen for them in 2020, 2021, they have a for sure big chance of getting into the blow up category. That's where I see Scorey. I see him releasing a lot of good music this year and a lot of music that does well, but don't think it'll quite blow up. And last on the list, we have Skywater. As much as I want to put Skywater in the blow up category, I just don't really know. Oh man, he's hard. He's really hard to predict because he is so talented and he makes such good music. He's got great branding and just, I don't know, man. I don't know if he's really gonna reach the mainstream this year. I really do want him to be in the blow up category, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. But he's one of these ones that could go like this. He's in both. Definitely gonna have a really good year, and he's just on the fence. I mean, a lot of these guys could be on the fence, but like I said, any of these people could be, or not these people, because they're supposed to be smaller, but these guys could be in here, and these guys could be in here. And most likely these guys will be in here, because just to say all of these artists are gonna blow up, I mean, think about how many did in 2019. There really wasn't that many. There wasn't that many that blew up. So I really just hate making that statement. That's why I try to keep the list very small. I mean, I only have 9.5 artists there, and realistically, 9 artists are probably not gonna blow up from this position to mainstream this year. If I'm lucky, one of these will. And if I had any major influence, I would try to push all of them. I just want to leave this section here for some honorable mentions. While I was making the video, I was kind of in a rush, so I wasn't really able to get everybody that I wanted to get in here. Plus, there's literally hundreds of artists that I pay attention to, so it's impossible to get them all in here. But I just wanted to throw some names of some other people in these categories just because I thought of them while I'm editing this video right now. But all of these artists are on my radar. If you're not in this video, like I said, don't be too offended. Don't take it to heart. It may have just slipped my mind. But these are some artists that I'm very much paying attention to, and others, but historically over the past 6 months to a year to 2 years, these have been the artists that I paid attention to a lot. A lot of them have had solid growth since I've came across them. All of you that watched like this entire video, you're definitely like diehard underground underrated rap fans. So thank you so much for the support. You guys are pretty much the reason why my channel is alive. Supporting these artists when they're really, really small is a very like noble thing to do, honestly. Not saying that their music isn't good enough to deserve that, but you know, it's hard to really be invested in an artist that's super small. I understand the struggles with that, or just like, you know, you want them to be big, or you want more people to know about it, or you want to play their music at a party and like nobody wants to listen to it because nobody knows it. So it's really like an interesting type of person that wants to be invested in one of these artists. So appreciate all you guys checking out the artists. I hope you go and listen to their music if you happen to come across somebody in here that you didn't know. But yeah, and thank you for supporting the channel. My name is Patrick CC. I'm out.